Welcome to the Savannah African Art Museum. My name is Elisa, and I'm one of the staff members here at the museum. With the museum closed to the public, we're going to be providing to you, via online sources, weekly gallery tours. We hope that everyone is staying home and are praying for everyone's good health and the overcoming of this pandemic. Hi, today we're going to talk about the Sunday Society. They're the Mende people located in Sierra Leone. So these are initiation masks, which is a secret society for the women. The women will be initiated in the society. They will be taught how to cook, how to be wives, how to handle their children. They will learn not to gossip unnecessarily, not to listen to unnecessary gossip and chatter. They'll learn how to focus on their business at hand, which is running their house and taking care of their husband. So, what will be going on and how do these masks represent that? These masks represent what the woman, the young girl, is going to be initiated into. The masks show the beautiful ebony richness of her skin. The hair will be gloriously styled at the end of her initiation. The small ears represent the not listening to unnecessary gossip and chatter. The small mouth also reflects not being chattery and gossipy. So you also will notice that there are fat rolls around her neck, and this is indigenous to the fact that she's going to be well fed. She will be healthy when she comes out so that she may be able to carry a child to full term. Because as we all know, you must be healthy to carry a child to full term. She will learn how to resolve disputes among her husband and among other people in the community, and will, at the end of her initiation, they will cover her in white kaolin clay. This white kaolin clay represents her transformation, her spiritual transformation from childhood into womanhood. And she will be bathed and then receive her hairstyle and be dressed and presented to the community available for courtship. Welcome back to the Savannah African Art Museum, Gallery 1, Part 2. Today we're going to be discussing the fertility figures. This one is Dan culture from Liberia, and this one is the Bassa culture from Liberia as well. So let's take a look at what we see here. We see these beautiful hairstyles they're both wearing, which is reflective of their full womanhood. What are these tattoos? Excuse me, they're not tattoos. These are scars. These scars upon their body show that they can endure with great pain, because it is with great pain that a woman bears a child. Then we have these big legs and feet, and my goodness, now we're not saying that big feet and big legs aren't nice, or skinny legs or skinny feet, but these are representative of the fact that the woman is a pillar of civilization. She is upholding society. Without this woman fulfilling her destiny and bearing a child, there are no future generations. And how do I know that she is truly a fully fledged woman? Because upon their back, both of them bear a child. Welcome back to the Savannah African Art Museum, Gallery 1, Part 3. Today, we're going to cover Princess She Ananga. Princess She Ananga was born of King Ndega and Queen Napoko of the Dagomba Kingdom in Ghana. From the age of 14 years old, she was a master spear and javelin thrower, a bowman, and horseman. She was so good, in fact, that she was the general over her father's army. Now, when Princess She Ananga reached a certain age, she went to her father. She said, "Father, it is time. It is time for me to fulfill my destiny among the people and be married and bear children." And her father said, no. Princess She Ananga simply said, "Certainly, Father," and went about her way. Well, Princess She Ananga went and planted herself a sunflower field. And you see sunflowers here and sunflowers here on her horse. The sunflowers grew strong and beautiful. their heads just full of seeds, just bouncing in the wind, begging to be harvested. And the people said, "Princess, princess, please let us harvest the crop." And the princess said, "No, leave it alone." Well, of course, the harvest, the crop, rotted and died. Well, her father was a little irritated with this because it was not the ways of the people to waste and spoil and not use anything. So he called him to him, and he says, "Princess, why did you waste this crop? You could have fed so many people." She said, "Father, as this crop was ripe for the harvest, yet it rotted and died, I am ripe for the harvest, and I am rotting and dying inside." He was so furious that he had her locked away. Well, when you have someone locked away, you better make sure who the people guarding her are loyal to. Princess She Ananga had trained these men how to fight. She had fought side by side with them in battle. They were loyal to her. So in the middle of the night, they brought her men's clothing, brought her faithful steed, and several of them took off with her in the middle of the night, heading north. As they traveled, they ran into the Malinke people, and the Malinke people and them had a great skirmish, and all of her comrades were killed. So as she was going and running, she came upon a great rushing river, and she knew she had to cross it to get away from the Malinkes. So her and her horse managed to struggle and get across. She almost drowned. She finally gets across, and she's so exhausted, she passes out upon her steed. Well, as her steed is wandering through the jungle, a fierce elephant hunter by the name of Raele comes upon her. He simply takes the reins of the horse and he leads her back to his camp. He pulls her down off the horse and lays her on a pallet for her to rest and recover. Well, she stays there a while, still holding up her disguise as a man. But Raele, he saw through that disguise and fell in love with her. Confessed his love, she returned it. The natural course of events came, there was a child born. She named the child Wagadugu. Why did she name her child Wagadugu? Wagadugu means stallion, because the stallion carried her to her husband. Now her son grew strong, tall, and when he was of a certain age, she told Raele, "It is time for us to go back down south to the Dagomba kingdom and let my parents know that they have a grandson." So they pack everything up, they head back down south, they enter the Dagomba kingdom, and her parents are overjoyed to know that she is alive, and even more overjoyed to know they have a grandson. So King Nadega oversaw all of Wagadugu's training, warfare, diplomacy, anything that a young prince would need to know. And when the young prince became a man, and it was time for him to go off and start his own kingdom, then the king gave him warriors, goods, cattle, and horses. Horses! He needed horses! How were they going to get there? Oh my goodness. Bear with me. So they saddle up, they take off, and what better place for Wagadugu to go than where he was born? So he headed back north into Burkina Faso, and there he settled his kingdom. His kingdom turned into the kingdom of the Mossi people. The Mossi people still exist today, and I say that because Yananga lived 900 years ago. Wagadugu is the capital still today of Burkina Faso. The name of their football team, soccer, is called the Stallions, and they've even built an all-green recycled city called the city of Yananga. And there's even a shape in the city of an eye, and I like to think of the eye of Yananga looking out over her children. All she wanted to be was a mother, and she ended up being a mother of a nation 900 years old. Thank you. See you back for next segment.